Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the new novel, Billy Summers by Stephen King. Now, I gotta admit, this is actually the first Stephen King book I've read start to finish. I started Mr. Mercedes in middle school, but then I kind of stopped halfway through for some reason. I don't know. But this is the first one I've read start to finish. And I gotta say, as the first novel that I've read, he sounds pretty cool. I might read some of his other stuff someday once I get through my hundreds of other books on my TBR. Now, this novel, from what I understand, is a lot different from most of his other novels because this kind of is a thriller instead of a mystery. It's kind of like about a hitman and he has a job, but things go wrong. It's kind of like that, we see it in a lot of movies, TV shows, most notably Fargo. But yeah, it's not a horror, it's a thriller, but I think it's a very good book. So Billy Summers is a hitman, I think in his late 40s, early 50s, who is talking about retiring, but he's approached by a mobster named Nick Majorian. And Nick Majorian offers Billy Summers one final job to give him extra money to retire, and that is to kill a man named Joel Allen, who's facing a death penalty for killing two people during a poker game. You know, the typical restaurant thing where if you lose a poker game, you kill the other people. I always thought that was dumb because, like, what's the point of even playing against them to begin with? But I don't know. So the worry that Joel Allen, the mob, is that they're going to incriminate them and attempt to lessen the sentence. So Majorian's like, I need you to kill him. And, Roger Clokey, an evil media mogul, kind of think like evil businessman Lex Luthor. He's paying them to pay Billy to kill Joel Allen. But Clokey has employed Allen as his hitman to kill his son Patrick because Patrick found out that his dad had a lot of sexual abuse of a bunch of young girls, think Epstein, and he's trying to blackmail him to inherit the father's company. But his dad's like, "No, I'm just gonna kill you." And when Alan completed the hit on Patrick, the son, he found out about the blackmail and used that to blackmail Clokey. So, yeah, he gets blackmailed. He hires a hitman to kill the guy who's blackmailing him, his son. And then when the hitman finds out what the blackmail's about, he uses the blackmail to back blackmail his boss in the first place. So it's kind of completing the circle. Which kind of means he killed his son for nothing, if you think about it. So meanwhile, while waiting to kill Joel Allen, Billy is pretending to be a writer. But he always wanted to be a writer because he's a creative type. So he's kind of taking the advantage to write his memoirs about himself and about his, crazy life of the army and his bad mom and his bad mom's evil boyfriend, all this crazy shit. So while he's writing his book, he's ready to kill somebody. He's getting friends with all these townspeople. A lot of townspeople mingling, playing Monopoly with children. I'm surprised children still play Monopoly. I mean, I play it myself, but I do it online because I have no friends. But anyway, so after killing Joel Allen, Nick Majorian refuses to pay Billy, and there's actually now a bounty on Billy's head, so Billy has to go on the run now. So while Billy's on the run, he's hiding out in this hotel, and he sees this young woman named Alice being dumped from a van after being date raped. She was drugged by a few college boys, and bad stuff happened. And yeah, she got dumped from a van, but Billy rescues her and she joins him as kind of like a companion, some Doctor Who shit, as he searches for Nick Majorian, because he has his revenge plan. But meanwhile, he kind of takes like a side quest to help out Alice's revenge plan. He kind of beats up her abusers, which is nice. I feel like the whole Alice plot is good because she's not like a useless character, like she's not a damsel in distress. But at the same time, it kind of seems like Billy's a bit of a white knight. So I kind of have mixed feelings on this little arc, but I don't know. It was kind of cool when Billy beats up those guys. A little disturbing the way he does it, but I think it was good on him nonetheless. So Billy finds where Nick's been hiding and he kills or injures a lot of his henchmen. And he handicaps this guy named Frank, and his mom is Maud, who works for Nick. Maud is not a nice lady. She seems like white trash. Um, just, not a very nice lady. But eventually, Billy, after torturing Nick for a while, he's able to get Corky's identity and where he is and why he wanted the hit on him. So they lure Corky into a meeting by like making Alice look like she's 15 to try to Harvey Weinstein her, or Dan Snyder her if you believe the rumors about Nickelodeon. So Clokey arrives and Alice shoots him, which is good, it's a nice twist. You would have expected Billy Summers to shoot him, but it's actually Alice who shot him. Which, a lot of people complain about Game of Thrones, where Arya kills the Night King instead of Jon Snow doing it. But that doesn't make sense because Arya had no real emotional stake in the battle. This time it works because Alice's stake in the battle is being a victim of abuse herself. So her shooting him was kind of like her taking revenge on the attackers, which Billy did for her. So it kind of comes full circle of them completing each other's revenge quests. That's why this works better than the Arya thing. And Alice and Billy, they get the job done, they're gonna leave, live happily ever after, and then nope, Billy gets shot by that bitch named Maud, white trash bitch, and Billy shoots her back, so at least the world is rid of her. That's nice. This is when the book abruptly changes from third person to first person, and this caught me. I didn't know exactly why they did this. I think it was like an artistic choice at first, but then, I started to realize, oh, wait a minute. The only time this book has been told in first person thus far is when Billy was writing his book. So I was like, oh, okay, so this must be part of the book. And you see Billy survive and they part ways happily ever after. But then no, it turns out that was just a false ending, kind of a fake ending by Alice. She wrote it as if she was Billy. So, it turns out Billy died after that bitch Maud shot him. And she thinks like a better ending to the story would be if Billy survived. And she thinks he would have liked that. That's what he would have said. And Maud's kind of like she's living with Billy's friend for a while. And we don't really know what exactly happens to her. Maybe there'll be a Billy Summers too. I'm just kidding. I don't think that needs to happen. And the book pretty much ends with her grieving him. See, he's kind of like her hero, knight in shining armor. So yeah, that's the end of the book. What did I think of it? I think it was a really good book. I'm gonna give this a B plus. As a first time reading a Stephen King book, I liked it. It seems like this guy is 70s in his 70s by now. Looks like he hasn't lost its touch. There's a couple problems I had, besides the whole white knight thing. I didn't like how much he talked about Trump in the book, considering it had no relevance to the plotline. It seemed like Stephen King was like writing on his Twitter rants, as we all do, but I'm more of a Snapchat ranter myself. And it just seemed like it was forced into the book. I looked it up and Trump was mentioned 14 times in the book, which is a bit strange because it isn't really a political book. Stephen King has a very narrow view of what Trump supporters are like. It's just, I don't know, not exactly accurate or at least narrow-minded. But I try not to get political on this channel, so that's all I'm going to say about that. But besides that, I think the book has really good characters. I like how at the first you didn't really know much about Billy, and you started to learn more about him as he wrote his book. That was a nice way of using flashbacks and character backstory. But having us learn a little bit at a time as Billy remembers his life, that was really cool. And I like how they grapple with like Billy only kills bad people, but killing people makes himself a bad person. So they kind of have this dilemma going on. I don't think they fully explore it as much as they could have, but I think it's a nice dilemma nonetheless. The action's good. The setting is good. He knows how to immerse you in that small town full of normal people, which is cool because Billy never really had much of a normal life. It was kind of like his first chance of experiencing it. And yeah, that's pretty much all the observations I have about Billy Summers. Yeah, let me know down in the comments what you thought of this book, and do you think it would work well as a miniseries? I mean, from what I've seen, Stephen King's movies and shows are pretty hit or miss. But then again, I didn't read the books they were based on, so maybe that's what they were like. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments. I'll see you guys next time. I hope everybody out there has a nice day and stay safe and peace.